Okay, chat, I just got out of the theater from watching Captain America: Brave New World, and here is my official review. Okay, gotta be honest here. Before I watched it, saw a lot of hate, even from YouTubers I admire, 3C Films, Soups. It was at a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. A 50%. Rated the third lowest MCU film. It was not that bad. Dare I say it? It was good. Yeah, I know. Hot take of the day. I liked the movie. Yeah. Sorry, I do know nothing. I guess that's why they call you that. Am I right? Because you know nothing. Okay, that wasn't a really funny joke. But anyway, this film was pretty solid. And I'm going to dive into why I think that. However, this film is not great nor perfect. And I'm going to also go into the negatives for it, because there are a few things holding this film back from being as good as its predecessors. Firstly, though, let's move into the positives. Sam Wilson as Captain America works for me, okay? I think it's good that we didn't do a Thor and kept on using the same character, not developing him. No, introducing a new Captain America and having him be the almost mythology character. I like that. That's a good idea. Keep that going. They're doing the same thing with Falcon and having Joaquin, move into the role of Falcon as Sam moves in the role of Captain America. I liked it. And they also didn't retread their steps from Falcon Winter Soldier. I really enjoyed that. Like, hey, if you want to see that, go to that show. But here, his main problem, I would say, is his relationship with Isaiah Bradley, which I really liked, and also his regret in not taking the super serum, which honestly is a big part of his character, which is different than Steve Rogers, who took the serum, and which is why he was so strong and whatnot. However, Wilson didn't do that, and it's really highlighted in one of the action scenes. No spoilers, of course, but there's a scene in the film where he has to depend on his own skill in a fight, and it's really thrilling and engaging to watch because it shows this guy was chosen for a reason. Also, one of the antagonists of the film, Red Hulk, that's not a spoiler, they've been marketing him everywhere. I loved his involvement in the film. Harrison Ford absolutely kills it. Usually he doesn't really care about a lot of his movie roles, it feels like, but this time, yeah, he went in there, he acted. Him and Anthony Mackie kind of carried the film from an acting perspective. Great job there. Red Hulk's awesome. Be excited for that. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Okay, now a lot of people, something I've heard a lot of people complaining about is the action in the film that's choppy or whatever, and the camera cuts too quickly. I disagree completely. I think this is great action, on par or maybe a little below Winter Soldier. I would say the action in this film is more fun and creative than the action Winter Soldier, but overall the Winter Soldier action was better, cleaner, faster, if that makes sense. But still, great action. Anyone who says otherwise, honestly, I don't think they saw the same film as me, or I just have a different opinion. Probably the latter. Also, this film connects to the Marvel Universe, which I'm so glad it does that, because a lot of Marvel films feel disjointed from each other and no longer connected like a cinematic universe. Everything feels off in its own corner, but this film really did take place in Marvel, it felt like, where everything else was, and that was awesome. The final positive I'm going to get into is that this film totally had Winter Soldier vibes, which is one of the best Captain America films. This thing just absolutely, the mystery, even the president's involvement, it just felt like that. However, that doesn't lead me into some of the negatives. Even though it does have that same Winter Soldier vibe, it feels like a watered down version of it. Almost like they grabbed that film, threw it in a blender, made some cool twists and additions, but then when it spat back out, it was less than that of the original. And that's honestly the best way I can describe it. While it was really cool, it didn't live up to Winter Soldier, even though it tried. Also, another thing is, I liked the villains in the film. However, there's such a lack of focus, they hyped up Red Hulk in the marketing, but then, to be honest, they didn't show him as much as I wanted. The leader, I'm gonna say this, I'm not gonna try to spoil anything, but I honestly think he got done so dirty in this film. I don't think they handled him the right way. The only villain who I think they did good was, obviously I liked Red Hulk, but Sidewinder felt like he, was actually more thought about and more of a villain role-esque, However, then they take him out of the film for some parts. I don't know. They just felt very mismatched with their villains. They had an idea, they just didn't get with it, and it kind of disappointed me. Another issue is that you can tell about that 23-day reshoot. I mean, some shots just feel like thrown in there. There's a scene towards the beginning, when the president is getting shot at, which was in the trailer, and someone escorts him out, and they're like, "Are you okay, Mr. President?" And then like 2 minutes later, it shows back in there someone going, "Get down, Mr. President!" Like it was out of order, which is crazy to see in such a big film, you know. And some of the scenes you can feel were thrown in there. Final negative: pointless side characters. This is a really big one that's going around. This one doesn't bother me as much, because you guys know a pointless side character in a very famous movie? Chewbacca in New Hope. I think about that for a second. What did he really contribute to that film? I mean, he could have been really, really easily written out of the film. However, we're still all glad he was in there, and I think that's the same for this movie. The side characters a lot of the time are pointless, don't serve anything to the overall narrative or the theme. However, I'm so glad we had them. The ex-Black Widow, while she didn't really do a whole lot, was still cool. Joaquin was kind of funny. Okay, maybe not all the time, but I mean, I was glad he was there. Now, before I jump into my overall review, including my 1 out of 10 ranking, I do have to go over some spoilers, so jump to the time on the screen to avoid those. 3, 2, 1, Bucky-O. Yeah, it was cool seeing him. The Joaquin relationship kind of decreased their bromance, but it was still awesome having a surprise appearance. Okay, this was a big problem for me. Red Hulk. Loved him in the film, loved what they did with him, wish there was a bit more. And not because I was unsatisfied with what they gave us, but when you hype him up that much and make him feel like he's going to be a huge part of the movie, and then he's only like minorly towards the end, that ticks me off. I'm sorry, Kevin Feige. Either commit to it or don't. Also, the credit scene, man. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything huge, but could they at least have name-dropped Doctor Doom? If they were going to allude to it, just say something like, it could be even cringe, like, he is coming. What is? Your doom. You know, like, that would have been cool. End it there. But instead they're like, yeah, from other realms. Like, yeah, no duh, Sherlock. I don't know. They could have done more with it. However, overall, I'm going to give this movie way higher than other people have. 8 out of 10. I mean, I would watch it again. Great vibes. I do think it might get slightly worse over time for me. It depends where they go with things like adamantium, which they talked about in the movie, but they didn't really do a whole lot with. They're establishing it. We haven't reached that point to where it really feels important and necessary. Maybe if there was a scene of someone using adamantium, that would have helped. But since there wasn't, they used vibranium a lot in the movie, not adamantium. You know, it felt a little pointless at some points. But in total, like the film, and please, if you can get one thing from this video, go watch it in theaters. A lot of people nowadays don't go to theaters to watch movies. They'll just watch a YouTuber's opinion and be like, okay, yeah, that's the official facts. No, watch it for yourself and decide. Because this is one of those films where some people are going to hate it, some people are going to love it, and you need to see where you lie in that spectrum. My favorite part of the movie, though, was probably before the movie actually started and the Superman trailer came on and the kid in front of me yelled, "Superman!" And then later, at the end of the movie, that kid goes, "No, I'm telling you, that's Bruce Banner," when talking about the leader, and his mom's like, "No, trust me, kid, that's Megamind." Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. By the way, guys, shout out my friend Samuel here. Just want to say, Samuel, Bob heard the word exonerate in the film, so, tell Miss Walker I better get extra points. Okay, if you're still listening to this, subscribe.